Hey guys, I'm back again, Layla, with a short word, and I pray that will minister to all of us. This is a season of introductions. For some of you, your husband to be is going to introduce you to his family officially as his fiancé, or his wife to be officially. Leave the days that he used to just take you there for dinner and just passing by. This time around he's taking you home officially, and you need to know how to behave. You don't want to go and misrepresent yourself. Remember, you're meeting the parents of your husband, and you're not just meeting them, they're also looking at you at a deeper level. So be keen not to misrepresent yourself. Be very keen on how you treat them. Be big on your honor. Be big in allowing them to know you. Answer questions. Carry yourself with royalty. And show yourself approved to be their daughter-in-law, to be the mother of their grandchildren, because they also care whom is getting married into their family, particularly because these are godly families. They have godly foundations, and your husband to be, your fiancé, is also taking you so that he can get his final approval from his parents. It could be father, mother. It could be maybe he doesn't have a dad, but maybe there could be uncles, aunties, his siblings. So if you know you have any past hitches with your husband's family, know you're going to be introduced, so you better be working on such things. Pray about it. Ask God to give you wisdom. Dress appropriately. Yes. Have the best attitude, and let the parents ask you the questions. Answer accordingly. Don't go there and be everywhere, all over the place. No. Go, be still, and read the room, and let them have their own predictions, their judgments, and you will only hear from your spouse to be after you have visited. Be very keen on the conversation your fiancé or spouse to be will give you as the response of his parents, and do not be mad. Even if the reports didn't make you happy, remember these are his parents. These are his parents, and it is him who chooses a wife. So this is the last step. Ensure you don't fail, because it's a time of testing. It's a time of testing. Ensure you do not fail. Ask God for all the wisdom that you need. Remember, Ruth was also put on that last session of test, where Boaz was being asked if he's willing to take her, if he's willing to bear the cost, and the men gave their blessing that this woman that you're bringing will be like Leah and Rachel. This woman that you're bringing will bring you praise. The elderly men gave their approval. And definitely also, on the other hand, Naomi had also given Ruth her blessing, and that is why Naomi kept on telling Ruth to do all those things to Boaz. It's because Naomi had given her approval for Ruth. Naomi knew Ruth is an approved wife. And now your husband to be, the husband, these things they will never tell you. But the men will take it to their home, and it could be your vetting day. You could just be telling the parents, study her, ask her questions, check her attitude, things like that. But by the end of the day, they'll be led of the Spirit of God, and you know the blessing of a parent is huge. If your parents don't give blessings, you know that marriage will really struggle. I remember of my own story last year when I took this guy who wanted to ask for my hand in marriage, but it didn't work, because also it wasn't God's plan that it was supposed to be him marrying me. When I took him home, I remember I was explaining to my dad who he was, and my dad told me to shut up. Exactly what I'm saying. My dad told me, shut up. He has a mouth. He will speak for himself. I was just like, whoa. I just said, my father has spoken. I should be shut. I should be quiet. I just kept quiet and I left the living room and I went to the bedroom and I let him have a conversation with my dad. Yes, Val, I'm telling you, when your parents say things, you better listen. That is why I'm telling you, when your spouse is taking you to their home at this final stage, be very careful of the things you do. And sometimes it's not even the things you say. They will be reading your body language. These are people who have been married for so long. They know their son very well. They know the kind of wife they would want for him. They know what he likes because they've known him longer. So as I was telling you of this story, my dad told me to shut up because this guy has a mouth and he will speak because he's the one who wants a wife. So why am I explaining things to my dad? This is who he is. This is what he does. And I caught attention of my dad telling me to shut up. Then I discovered, is there something that I'm covering up for him? Then I remember after an hour's time of conversation with my dad, I remember I was in my bedroom with my auntie. I came out of the bedroom and I remember my dad telling that gentleman, "Are you sure you are able to deal with my daughter?" That is what my dad asked him, and my dad was so stunned. Are you sure you're able? Remember, this is after a whole hour of conversation between my dad and this man. And my dad asked him, "Are you sure you're able to deal with my daughter? Because she's very driven, she's a strong leader, she's very principled, she knows what she wants. And thanks be to God, I also come from a good family, a middle class, almost going upwards kind of a family." And this guy could not answer. He was just startled at my father's stern voice. And my dad told him, "I will not discuss anything further. I will not approve you to marry my daughter yet until you come back with your fathers." He told this gentleman, "I will not give you any permission to go forward to engage her until you come home with your father, your uncles, and one or two female aunties to represent you and speak for you." And those were my father's final words. So he never said a yes, he never said a no, he just gave a condition that was to be met. And I remember I was just like, whoa. So we left home. And the next thing that followed is this guy had not introduced me to his family yet. So after we had come from my home, it was when he was supposed to take me to meet his family, but it never happened. He kept on postponing, kept on saying, "My father is far away, my siblings are elsewhere." And I'm just like, can't you consolidate your family together? Then I just remembered my father's voice asking him, "Are you sure you're able to deal with my daughter?" Then I remember the second instruction he was given. My dad told him, "I cannot converse anything with you. You're a young guy. Go bring me the elders. If the elders come, then I will release my blessing for you to engage her." This was not even marriage. It was for him to be able to propose. So that is why I'm telling you, the same way, after he's taken you to their home, you will have to take him to your home. Be careful. Pay attention to how they treat you, their attitude, because it's not a playing matter. Some of you, that will be the breaking point of the relationship. If the parents of the guy decide that they don't like you, and the guy honors his parents, he listens to his parents, people are very for me, I value my parents' word, particularly my dad. And my dad said it like that, and for sure that relationship didn't work. It took a month, and after a month we broke up with this gentleman because it just wasn't working. This is last year I'm talking about. We were not engaged. That is why he was going to ask for permission. He wanted to be known, know my family, so that he can make himself known, then engage me. But we never ended up getting engaged, which I thank God, because parents are like our second God. And yeah, part of dirty linen began to come out, and I just thank God I evaded that bullet. So guys, that is why I say do not be in a hurry. Don't just be running to just get married. No, 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 no. Ensure you run by your family members, get their approval, get their blessings, go to your pastors. And I remember before I took this guy home, I took him to my pastors, two of them, my spiritual mom and my spiritual dad. And my spiritual mom told him he should come and see him. He should come and see her by himself. And he never did that. And I kept on asking him, why don't you want to go and see my spiritual mom? Because my spiritual mom is a prophetess and she's also a seer. And my spiritual mom did not want to tell me what she saw about this young man's life. When I took him to my spiritual dad gave us exercises to do together. And he never bothered to call me so that we can do the exercises. And I discovered that there was nothing we were doing between him and I in preparation to this marriage. That is why I began to collect all the red flags. As much as he was composed, he was looking put together. When we broke up is when I found out most of his pretentious life. So you guys, don't be in a hurry. Even you, when you go to this man's family, study who they are. Study, do they have love? Are they a peaceful family? Don't just go there blinded. You're too in love, Sometimes God is asking you to be careful, open your eyes and see. For those of you who will meet loving family members, blessed be God. For those of you who will be received otherwise, may God give you wisdom to make the final decision. That is why God has given you a conscious mind. That is why God has given you the Holy Spirit. That is why God is allowing you to see signs. I can't make a choice for you. I can't tell you that, yes, this is the guy. No, there are certain things that only you can see because you're closer to him. It's the same way Jesus and Peter. Jesus told Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. And Peter was like, no, I can't do that. I love you so much. And indeed, Peter denied Jesus 3 times. That is how when you're close to someone, you can really know who they are. Everybody else there kept on saying, but you look like a disciple of Christ. And Peter would pretend like, no, I'm not the one. No, I'm not the one. But Jesus knew Peter would deny him. And he did so. And he felt bad. But thanks be to God, because Peter's heart was right. But think of Judas. Judas even kissed his master. A kiss is a very deep form of greeting. Judas kissed his master. And yet, he sold him for 30 pieces of shekel. 30 pieces of silver, Yes, Julia, I've answered that one. Georgia, I met my whole in-law family 3 years ago. I am praying the Lord returns my fiancé to me this year. Yes, I did that too. Yeah, even as you're praying, personally, I've also met my in-law family to be, and I've met them many times in very strange occasions. They were not staged at all. They were just suddenly moments when we were meeting up. And I thank God that every time we met up, I was always decently dressed. I was always at work. We were always meeting at work. There was one time I was invited in their family to go see the niece of my to-be. So all those times I was caught up in my best, not to pretend, but I was always being myself. And the mother of this young man, yeah, always make sure to be dressed properly. Yes, because this generation of people we are living in right now, people are just dressing the way they want. Cleavages are out. Oh my God, we don't want to even talk about it. When you're going to your in-laws family, please dress like royalty. Go check out how the Kate Middleton's Princess Diana used to dress appropriately. Look elegant, look like a wife, look like someone who can manage a home, properties, someone who can be honored, someone who can be a mother, someone whom they'll be happy to be associated with as their daughter-in-law. And even for you, check if that family is the kind of family you want to be associated with. You don't want to go into a family where everybody is doing drugs. and you end up being one of the drug dealers, it will be so bad. Don't sell yourself short. This is the time, this is the final season of the decisions. This is not a word to excite anybody. This is a word to make you cautious. Yes, Rebecca, when your partner knows your parents are spiritual, a lot of times it can manifest the demonic strongholds not wanting to be exposed. It can manifest the demonic strongholds not wanting to be exposed. Yes, dignified and elegant. If your parents are spiritual, they will detect. My father detected this guy, and I don't know, because and particularly if you don't have a father figure in your life, like a real father. Maybe you're not in good terms with your biological dad, but you're in good terms with your uncle. Ensure that you have a male representative that is coming to meet your spouse to be, because men know each other. Men know each other. And particularly, don't just bring a man who has failed all his life. Bring a responsible man. Go get one of your uncles who has a good family life, who has a good career life, who has a good sense of thought. Not everyone might be born again. If you have those who are born again, yes, pass them by your spiritual parents, pass them by your male representative, then your female representatives, because sometimes our mothers can be carried by emotions. All mothers want their daughters to be married. All mothers, particularly mothers of daughters, want their daughters married. But mothers of sons are very cautious, because they are like, no, they don't want their sons to just marry anyone. That is the difference between the mother of a daughter and the mother of a son. The mother of a son is just like, no, son, just wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit. Let us study who this person is. So be very careful. Be very careful. Ruth was well observed and she was known. That is why those elderly men gave a word of approval to Boaz. Rebecca was approved by Eliezer because of her service, how she carried herself, and even definitely how she dressed going to the well. Queen Esther was well approved, being raised by Mordecai. Mordecai had worked for the king for so long, and definitely he was a man of great integrity. That is why he exposed the two men who were against the king. And him being the father that raised Esther, you can tell that Esther was raised in a home of integrity. Yes, you ought to respect your body. It's your body. You ought to respect your body. Yes, and remember, this is about his family. And when you go to his family, don't be the kind of person, the woman who is just rambling her tongue. Stop talking. Be quiet. Eat your food. Answer questions when you're asked. Yes, when they welcome you in, you get in. However they choose to greet you, if they choose to hug you, you hug them back. If they choose to shake your hand, be okay with shaking their hands. Don't want to be too much into their business. Remember, you are the new person there. So let them give you room to get into their space. Okay? And don't, as I've said, when your fiancé, after you visiting their home, whatever feedback he'll give you, listen to it carefully, because the problem with women, we don't listen carefully most of the times. We just hear things that are inside our head. So stop concluding for yourself and listen carefully. This is a word of wisdom. We are not here to excite anyone. Marriage is very serious. It's a serious decision. Meeting parents is a serious thing. Yes. And your parents are closer to being prophetic. You might think like they are not aware, but they are very aware. So, yeah, catch me in the next one. I didn't think that it would be this long, but I think we needed to explain a few things there. And even when you take this husband to your home, ensure that he's dressed appropriately. Ensure that he's dressed appropriately, representing you well, representing himself well to your parents. You don't want someone going there with some street vibes, Let him look educated. Let him look like he was well raised. Let him look like a godly man. And he must honor your parents. He must honor your parents. If you sense any level of aggravation in their language to your parents, back off. There's no hurry into getting married. Yes, first impression lasts. True. So there's nobody's getting late. We shall all get married. We shall all get married. But there's no need for you to get married quickly and go fail. Yes. So catch me in the next word. It will be separate from this. I don't want to mix them up. Yep. And like, subscribe, share, and be with us as we are preparing for our next level. Yep.